I noticed? I don't have the sound pads recording in my thing. Forgot to arm to record it.
I was just over here vibing to that song, and you're like, "Hey, guess what?"
Well, it's okay. I'll just add it to the end part, and yeah, I'll remember to add stuff to it, so we're all good.
Okay.
So we can just start whenever.
All right, welcome to today's episode of Up Until Now podcast. I'm your co-host Andrew,
and I'm JD.
Today we started off a little bit different because JD threw me off a little bit, but JD, take the wheel.
Sorry, I kind of messed up the recording again, but it's okay. It won't affect the actual quality of the recording. It's just something different. My bad.
Me starting affected the quality of the recording.
Just a smidge. It made it better.
Jesus.
Well, I want to thank everyone for taking a listen to our podcast. It is our 20th episode. It is 20. Andrew, we've been doing this for 20 plus weeks.
I feel like we should do something special.
I mean, I was thinking we could do something special for like 50, like around like our 1 year. Yeah, I don't know what we were going to do. I was thinking like maybe we can, hopefully by then we have a few more listeners and we can like set up like a live podcast.
Or like a giveaway to like avid listeners. Be like, ooh.
Yes, like a giveaway. That would be awesome.
I mean, we're already halfway there, kind of.
Yeah. We're almost, we're at like half a year we've been doing this. We've been doing this for, 6 months. Yeah, we've been doing this for 6 months. That's crazy, man. That's insane to think about.
So hopefully you guys are avid listeners and you guys hear this episode and just get ready for a giveaway or something. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, like
emphasis on maybe.
We're not promising anything right now, but if we can afford to do a giveaway, we'll do a giveaway.
That's right.
So with that being said, if you guys have any ideas of what you guys would like as a giveaway prize, like please let us know. Email us or send us a message on Instagram. And if you guys don't make it to the end of the episode, Andrew, where can they find us to actually send messages and emails?
Well, usually this is at the end, but they could usually always find us at upuntilnowpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Instagram with the same handle of upuntilnowpodcast.
Yeah, so if you guys want to go there and just give us a shout out and being like, hey, listen, if you guys do a giveaway, can you guys give away this or that? Then, we'll be more inclined to listen. So that would be fantastic. And yeah.
Ooh, this is spicy. We're changing things up. Ooh, this is spicy.
I know, we're changing shit up because I messed up the recording.
That's what you guys get for JD messing up. You guys get gifts.
You guys get gifts and giveaways.
You know what people will never reject as a gift?
What's that?
An Amazon gift card.
Ooh, Amazon gift card is pretty legit, but the only thing is Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, is kind of a fucking asshole. So I don't know if we should promote Amazon on here.
Why the hell is he an asshole?
It was just like something with like he's making like a shit ton of money, of course, but then like his low end workers are like in the worst working conditions and like he just didn't care.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently like the warehouse workers were like in some shitty ass like work environments and stuff.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but
it is what it is.
If we're gonna go that route, like we can't even eat Chick-fil-A then.
I ate Chick-fil-A like a couple days ago.
Yeah, the chicken is good. It's hard not to eat there.
So good. It's just pickled chicken.
You know what? You're the person that told me that Chick-fil-A was a what was it called? What did you?
It's just a up McChicken. I mean, honestly though, it is. The quality is better. It is, but truth be told, it is just a high-end McDonald's of all chicken.
You're a joke.
And their Chick-fil-A sauce is pretty much...
Their Chick-fil-A sauce has crack cocaine in it or something.
Well, it's good, but it's just like... to me, it just reminds me of fucking honey mustard.
Honey mustard is garbage compared to Chick-fil-A sauce.
Ah, rude.
It's not rude. I'm just speaking the truth.
Anyways.
Transitioning to our actual podcast episode, we want to thank you guys for taking a listen and actually staying with us for 20 whole episodes. That is a long time for us. And again, like what we said before, we didn't even think this podcast was going to like last until episode 4. So being at 20, like that's our podcast is almost, old enough to drink. If it was episodes.
I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think that's how it works either.
It'd be 6 months old. 6 months old.
That's still a long ass time. This is a long time to be doing anything, especially with like another person. Like if you're doing like something for 6 months that's like by yourself, like it's still impressive, but being able to do something for 6 months on a weekly basis with another individual,
that's dedication.
Impressive. That's dedication. Exactly. That's dedication.
I remember we were talking about like in our really early episodes, like in our New Year, New Me episode, we were talking about like how long it takes for it to become like a habit and stuff. This has become a habit.
Well, yeah,
just getting ready to record on Tuesdays is habit.
For sure. Uploading and like recording on Tuesday has like been our cycle for the past few weeks, and I think it's working.
I like it.
I do too, because it gives me the weekend to like edit the podcast, and if I don't finish the edit over the weekend, I just do it all Monday night. So
I appreciate it.
Yep. Well, I mean, you could take some of the episode editing. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still like the deal of if we make money, I'll just give you more. You could do that editing.
That works. I mean, again, like what I said before, like we just uploaded episode 15, which was about podcasting, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
that was about not half-assing things.
That's right. Episode 16 is podcast. I'm working on episode 16. And in that episode, I was talking about like different editing things that I've been doing and like tricks and tips that I've been like processing myself. So been using those a lot more. So the editing process is going a lot faster. Andrew could tell because I think the episode that I just sent him for this week, episode 15, I edited in like 3-4 hours compared to my normal 6. So
very nice.
It's getting better. And we're being very optimistic about it. And we've always been talking about how we've always wanted to change our mindsets and be more positive people, because we found that if you're too pessimistic, you kind of get sucked into that. It's kind of like that. What is it called? When you continually think about it and it happens because you thought about it.
God, I know what you're talking about.
It's a
psychological term. It's the fucking Oh, this is gonna bug me now.
God damn it! What is it called?
Placebo effect.
No. Placebo effect is thinking that something's working, but you haven't actually been given anything.
Well, I just feel stupid now because I felt so confident saying that.
What is that called?
Can't we just say it's the placebo effect? Just so I can have.
If we say the placebo effect, then all these people are gonna be like, no, that's wrong.
Wrong again.
Let's see. It's called. This is gonna bother me.
We can edit this portion out.
Yeah. Oh, what is that called? I don't know what it is. Fuck.
I'm still sticking with placebo effect.
It's not placebo effect.
I don't care what you tell me. I still think it is, and that isn't that how placebo effect works? You said if I keep thinking it is, it is. It is what it is.
No.
Wrong again.
This is gonna fucking bother me the entire episode, and I want to get past it, but I can't.
And the worst part is you're the one that brought it up too.
I know. I'm such a fucking idiot. Anyways, if you guys know what I'm talking about and what the actual term is, please let us know, because it's gonna bother us. So
it's gonna bother you because I still think it's the placebo
effect. Not the placebo effect. I'm telling you, it's not the placebo effect. It's
to our listeners, it's only bothering JD, not me, because I'm just gonna stick with my wrong answer.
Damn it! I don't fucking remember, and it's pissing me off.
It's funny because I can see him getting angry.
I can't get past this. Hold on, give me a second. Esther.
He's asking his fiance what it is. I hope she says placebo effect. It'd make my day if she said placebo effect. While he's doing that, I'll look it up on Google. What the hell? Placebo effect.
I thought of it as I was talking to Esther. It's a confirmation biasy. Like being like a confirmation bias. It's like you always say like, hey, I'm gonna fail. So then when you
And then
actually
you
fail, you're like, I told you I was going to fail.
Reverse psychology.
It's not reverse. I fucking hate you.
I've never even heard of the term that you just said.
Really?
What the hell did you say? Convincing what?
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation, affirmation. Feels stupid.
I think we should just start this whole episode over.
Anyways. But yeah, confirmation, affirmation. Keep going. Let's go. I think he's tired of me.
No, I'm just tired of myself. I'm very annoyed at myself. Yeah. Fuck. I don't want to continue right now.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to today's episode of Up Until Now.
Oh, I forgot where we were going with this.
Being pessimistic.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been too long.
It's literally been 2 minutes.
I know, it's too long.
Ay.
I'm having it. It's just one of those days today, man. It's just one of those days.
It's late. You had a lot to drink. It happens to everybody.
Oh, all right. I'll sift through this and I'll edit this shit that I have to edit out. So
good luck.
Fuck you.
Hey, you caused this whole thing.
That's very true. I did cause this whole thing. Fuck you, past JD. God. Let's see. Okay. I don't remember where we...
Just start that intro song again.
Wait, what? But the intro was good. We had a good intro.
Well, you shouldn't have fucked up the fucking recording then. Welcome to today's episode of Fucking Up Until Now podcast. This is your co-host, Andrew.
And I'm JD.
God, Jesus. Now our listeners are going to think we're stupid. Like, we're just angry at each other at the start of this episode. Anyways, I don't know if you guys ever hear our messed up intro part, but we talked about how this is our 20th episode and we want to do like a big old giveaway in our 50th. But thanks to fucking mastermind JD over there, he fucked himself over, couldn't think of a word, wasted 2 minutes, and lost track of where he was. So we had to start everything over again. Lottie fucking da, hee-haw! We're here we fucking are. Talking about fucking placebo effect, confirmation, affirmation, hello, goodbye. Doesn't even know. God.
All right, I'll cut all that out. I promise.
I just caught them back up. You're not gonna cut everything out.
I don't know how this episode's gonna go.
Well, we're only a minute in, but in reality, we're 21 minutes in.
I have 41 minutes on mine.
And
we haven't even started the episode yet.
Well, technically, we did.
We started it twice.
I feel like we have to start over again.
No. Okay. So when you get too close, or I got it. Don't worry. I got it. Anyways, so when you get too far into your pessimism and your negative side, you kind of stay there. Like you always say like, oh, I'm gonna fail. And when you do end up failing, it just propels you into the pessimistic side of like thinking, and like it's hard for you to dig yourself out of that. Constantly thinking that, negative thoughts and pessimistic thoughts, and when those things actually happen, it kind of further confirms and it further throws you into that pessimism, because you're like, well, I'm going to be right because I'm going to failure anyway, so why do I keep trying? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I truly do understand that, because for as long as I can remember, I was very pessimistic about everything in life. And that's how I lived my life until, recently in 2020, where I changed. Now I'm optimistic about everything.
For our listeners that are like kind of in that negative mindset, like what things and what steps did you take to have a more optimistic and more positive viewpoint of life?
Having outlets, such as people to talk to. For me, it was my best friend, JD. He helped me become a more positive thinker, just because he himself is a positive thinker, and he always used to, get annoyed and mad when I used to be like negative, or I used to beat myself up. He would get mad at me for it. So constantly having that reassurance of him backing me up helped me a lot to get out of that big old negativity. And I don't want to bring that mood to him anymore. And like again, it was like that whole changing slowly, little by little, until it just became a habit to not think like that anymore. And it makes life so much more fun and better and brighter. But it is hard. Don't get me wrong. It's hard if like you live 24 years of your life, 25 years of your life being a pessimistic piece of shit. And it's so much easier. That's why, to be pessimistic than optimistic. So much easier.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you there, because by nature I find myself that I'm actually like a more positive, optimistic person. But it is, you're right. It is so much easier just to be like, you know what, fuck it. Like it's everything sucks. Everything sucks. I hate my life, or this didn't happen because I'm a shitty person, or it's you just find like when you get in that, you want to take the easy route, and you just keep going like, you know what, I'm just gonna dive deep into this easy route and be like, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah. And it's the way I looked at it, which was a very terrible, stupid way of looking at it, was like, if being pessimistic, if I was like expecting something, I would look at the worst case scenario possible, just so like I won't be let down if that's what happened. To me, that comforted me, being like, oh, I knew this was gonna happen. And that's terrible. Like, why would you hope for the worst for yourself? Like,
Just so that you can feel better when if something bad happens,
exactly.
it makes you feel better, which that shouldn't be like the reaction of something bad happening to you. If the reaction of something bad happening to you should be, well, that fucking sucked. What am I going to do to make sure that doesn't happen again? Or that's one of the pitfalls and the traps that like pessimism kind of throws at you, is like, if you're so pessimistic and something bad happens, you're like, you kind of have like that shrug off attitude, where like, oh, I knew this was going to happen, I don't care.
Yeah. People are afraid to get hurt.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line of it. And knowing that you're going to get hurt and getting hurt, that cushions it for you.
And that's the whole thing with society these days. They're always about instant gratification, and they're always about, what's the easy way out. And when they kind of fall into that, I think we've said this in the podcast before, but nothing good in this life comes easy. Nothing.
Yeah.
And
unless you're Trump and you get a small loan of $1 million.
yeah, unless you're Trump and you get those nice, that nice daddy loan. But like nothing in this life comes easy for good people. And I assume that, and I hope that a lot of our listeners are actually good people. And that's the kind of reality that we have to face, that we're going to have to work hard for the nice things and the good things that we have. And to always be pessimistic and always kind of fall into that negative feeling of, oh, my life sucks, or, I suck and I'm going to always fail because I'm a failure. And being like, when you actually do fail and you're like, oh, you know what? I knew that was going to happen, so it's okay. Like, no, fuck no. If something bad fucking happens to you, it's not fucking okay. Like, it's a bad thing, and you should do something to make sure that it'll never happen again, or you fight to make things better, and not take the easy way out and be complacent.
Yeah, I don't know how you were friends with me. I was like that for almost like our entire friendship.
I don't think so. I think with our friendship personally, it was more about, I think when we were together, like we always had a good time.
Yeah. So I never needed to show that side of me.
Exactly. And even if you did show that side of you, like it was easily combated because I'm such an optimistic person or whatever. I'm a positive person overall. Like it just kind of like negated,
Except the one time we went on our road trip. And we both got super pissed at the car breaking down. I got scared because like I've never seen you so angry before.
I was furious. Like it was because it was a brand new car.
Like you were so angry at Enterprise people, I think, because like they kept telling you one thing and then someone else kept telling you another or something like that. Oof.
I don't remember. I just remember that being a very black hole of my memory that I don't want to delve into too much.
But now we look back at it and laugh about it.
Yep. Now we look back and we're like, oh, wow. Now we know what to do if our car breaks down.
That's right.
Just fucking yell at car rental places until they give you a car for discounts. So like, I think that's the dangers of being too negative and too pessimistic are like you continually fall in that repetitious cycle of like self-harming and self-loathing on top of complacency. And I think that's the hardest part of like getting out of a pessimistic mindset is just realizing that this bad things happen to good people, good things
But
happen
that
to,
shouldn't be okay.
but that shouldn't be okay. Like that's it's a reason to get up and fight and become better. And I think on the flip side, like being too optimistic, there is a such thing as being too optimistic for sure.
Oh, definitely.
It's like that it's like those like annoying ass people that like if you make fun of them, they're like, "Oh, haha, whatever. You look so pretty today." You're like, "No, fuck you. Like I hate you." You know what I mean? Like just like the annoying people that are just so optimistic and I think that kind of that saying ignorance is bliss. Like I feel
Yeah.
like if you're such an optimistic person in my head, you're an idiot. Like you're an idiot.
It's kind of like those people. I'm pretty sure this was from Friends, where it's like if someone pooped on your carpet, you'll be like, "Oh well, it's a circle of life."
Was that? I don't think that was Friends. I don't remember that in Friends.
Now that's gonna bug me. I'll figure it out.
The one from Friends is get out of the bitter barn and play in the hay.
Anyways, but like that little.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like if you're too positive, you don't understand that like people take advantage of you and it's hard. Like I don't this episode is very difficult to record for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. It's just very difficult for me to record this episode.
It's Tuesday. It's the end of June. We're about to be 26. That's why
Yeah. The 26-year-olds are coming out and we're coming out as old.
we're old now. Oh god,
We're over the quarter life thing. We're at
midlife.
But like when you're overly positive, I always think of like overly positive and optimistic people as like children's show hosts, you know? Like the
What do you
Wiggles,
mean?
Barney, and
Oh my god,
like
those are so annoying.
exactly. Like they're so optimistic and so positive that they're so fucking annoying. Like they can't see the bad things that are happening to them and they're not doing anything about it.
I can see it that way.
When you're too positive, when bad things happen to you, you just like deflect and be like, "Oh, it's okay. Like I love life. I woke up this morning." But then you don't do
Dude,
anything.
you just got stabbed. Be mad, man.
Exactly.
Like, dude, come on, you're bleeding. Come on.
Like the saying like ignorance is bliss. You kind of just look like an idiot when you're too optimistic.
Kind of, to a certain extent, yeah.
Like, and I think it might not be stupidity, but it's more like being naive. I think like as adults, as young adults, like it's not okay to be naive because we have to be able to in this world. It's not all rainbows and butterflies and farting glitter. Like it's a dog eat dog world. It's hard to be that overly optimistic person and believe that you're going to get through life without any struggles or any bad things happening to you.
It kind of makes it seem like if you're too optimistic about things, it's kind of in a way seems like you're just brushing it off because you don't want to deal with that negativity.
Exactly. And dealing with negativity is a part of life. And if you don't know how to do that, when you have a little bit too much negativity or too many, just that one extra little bad thing that happens to you, you're going to fucking snap. And because of like the way that you've been handling all this negative attitude and stuff, you don't really understand how to cope. So you've never really learned how to fight the bad things and to fight the bad pessimistic thoughts or whatever that you're fighting. It's just it's hard to kind of get over that. So
And the same goes for being pessimistic too. If there's too much too much negativity that comes your way, it can make you snap too. It's not just one or the other. Both has the whole. It can push you over the limits.
exactly. And like kind of having an understanding of both and having a good balance of both. It's like yin and yang. Like you have to make sure that you have both sides. You have to have the good things in life and the bad things in life to make sure that your life is overall good.
Like the funny thing about me is how I just mentioned, like I lived almost all my life being pessimistic. And now my life, I feel like it's very I have like a runner's high in life right now. I just feel very good in where I am in life. A lot of the things in my life right now are just coming together again. But that pessimistic part of me is like scratching at me, saying like, dude, you used up all your luck for the rest of your life. And in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking like, when the hell is that lightning bolt just gonna strike me? Like, like I feel like life can't be this good, you know? So like I feel like that's like a little downside to getting out of being a pessimist.
I guess so, but even then, I think when you kind of put it in like a more positive perspective, being a little bit more optimistic about it, it's like you're prepared. You're not.
Yeah,
And it's not like you're saying that you're gonna fail, or is like you're not saying that you're a bad shitty person. That's not what it's saying at all. It's just you're like
I'm ready for it.
you're ready for it, and I think that's the difference. It used to be for you. It used to be, oh, I'm a shitty person and I'm gonna fail, and when I do fail, it's just because I'm a shitty person. And it just never fucking stopped. And then now, even before we started recording this episode, we talked about the things that have been going on in your professional life, and how yes, like you're being more optimistic, but you still have that pessimistic side behind you that's saying like, you know what? It's good to be, very optimistic and very hopeful for the future, but you have to remember, like, be prepared. And it's like the Boy Scout, like, always be prepared. Like, that's kind of what you learn. Always be prepared. But I think that's the way that I see it. Like, yes, you are a pessimistic person at heart, but you're using your pessimism to be prepared and be focused and ready for the future. Because if you're an overly optimistic person, I'm actually pretty jealous of you, because I feel like a lot of the optimism, and when I felt most optimistic was when I was in college, or high school is when you felt fucking invincible.
Yeah.
Like, I can fucking take on the world and I don't, I won't get harmed. I kind of like envision my high school and my college self like frolicking in a meadow, just like all happy, nonchalantly, like going through a meadow, and then boom, like you just get fucking shot and sniped right in the head, like with like the adult world. And that's kind of how I felt happened as soon as I graduated. I was promised, we were both promised that like if we get a college degree, if we work hard in college, get good grades, and graduate, that we'll be guaranteed a full-time job with benefits.
Yeah.
Did that happen for either of us? No, it didn't. And Andrew, you graduated a couple years later, but like you're still going through that. You're still realizing that like that promise of like, we're going to get like great, fantastic fucking jobs that like pay the bills and give us benefits and whatever. Like the whole package when it comes to our career is going to show up on our doorstep because we went to college. Before, like when we first started this episode, I knew you were kind of very optimistic about your education and stuff like that. And I didn't want to damper you, and I didn't want to be the one that shot the sniper bullet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of our listeners are in college still. Like I know like a few of our listeners are still in college and still looking and finding their way in this world. I think this part of the episode is more about us telling you to be prepared. Like it's not as easy, and it's not as great as your parents have told you it's going to be if you graduate.
Again, don't get us wrong. Hard work does pay off for some, Like Jocelyn, she's a full-time nurse pretty much. She worked hard for it too.
My sister?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Well, then let's use my cousins for example then. Two of my cousins, Ashley and Christine, they both graduated college and then got a full-time job as nurses in hospitals. Like they worked for it though. Like, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, don't get us wrong. Like hard work will pay off too. But another part, again, remember, it's not always like that.
Exactly. And I feel that if you do work hard, you do get what you put into it. If you grind and you grind and you grind all your effort into something great is going to happen to and come out of it, because that's just the way it is. Like if you invest that much time and effort into something that you're passionate about and that people, respond to, it's definitely going to happen for you. Now, you can't be stupid about it. And for example, if you're a person right now and your passion and your love is selling landline phones, you're not going to do well. You know what I mean?
Like that's like the most random fucking example.
I know it's really random, but I just saw a landline phone the other day, and that's kind of like what first popped in my head. But like, if you think that you're gonna make it by selling landline phones in this day and age, I don't. You're not gonna be successful because you're not understanding the market.
If any of our listeners are landline phone sellers, get out of that business right now.
As fast
Even
as
if you know someone, get them out.
Like if you're working at a Radio Shack, get the fuck out. Like you know what I'm saying? Like there are things that like, yes, like hard work and dedication do pay off, but it has to be smart and has to be properly invested. Like don't invest in
Phones.
landline telephones. I feel like some of our viewers are no, I feel like some of our listeners don't even know what a landline phone is.
They didn't know the struggle of the limitations of where you can go to talk on your phone.
Or Mom, get off the phone. I'm on the phone.
Or oh god, those are so annoying.
Like, and that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, like, yes, you're right. Hard work does pay off, but we have
Be
to
smart about it.
Be smart about it, and we have to be prepared of like the shitty downfalls of life because they happen.
Yeah, like landline phones going on a date.
Yeah, be prepared. Like, get a cell phone, like easy. But that's the kind of thing. If you are on one end of the spectrum, whether that's overly positive or on the other side of the spectrum, overly negative, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. That's just you just gotta be on the lookout. You know, head on a swivel.
Have a good balance.
Have a good balance, and I think as this podcast has been progressing, I've realized that the reason why I'm so passionate about like helping people and finding their way through this adult life is because I didn't really have that, and I had to learn a lot of this on my own. But because I learned everything on my own, I feel like I've become a more balanced individual overall. Like I think I'm more optimistic than I am pessimistic, but I still embrace my pessimism and really understand that the thoughts and the negative thoughts that come to my head aren't bad things. They're things that my mind is subconsciously thinking about, and like, hey, be on the lookout. Like that rock looks really nice, and take pictures of it, but it might fall, you know, and kill you. I don't fucking know. I don't know where my examples are coming from today. Andrew's dying.
Oh, that lock looks nice. It might fucking kill me. What kind of example is that?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking of like cartoons like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Oh, man, that's a nice looking deer. It might fucking trample me.
Like, you never fucking know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what's wrong with my examples today, but I think they're pretty funny. So we'll just keep going on. But like, as you know, as this podcast has progressed, I think me being a more balanced person recently, because of, you know, my life experiences of working at a shitty job in Chicago for a year and then going to Georgia for a year with no fucking plan, and then coming back to Illinois and getting a full-time job with benefits and all that. I feel like I'm slowly becoming a more well-rounded person because of the life experiences that I've had. I just want to warn people, especially the people that are in college right now or going into college or wherever you are in school, is to understand that when you get out into the real world, it's not as easy. You're not going to get A's on the work that you do. No teacher is going to come and be like, pat you on the back, be like, oh, great job, gold star for you. No, what's going to happen is you're going to go to work, you're going to get your shit done, and then your boss or your manager is going to give you more fucking work to do. Like, that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? So like, there's no gold stars. There's no sense of that. I mean, you could find a great workplace, sure, but at the end of the day, it's all about production and like if you can produce as an employee. And no one cares if you were a straight A student. If you don't get the job done, who gives a shit? You're fucking fired.
Yeah, there's another fucking I can't think of a name. There's another John waiting to take your place that could do the job.
Exactly. And you have to be sure that, like, you know, you're ready for that. And I think for Andrew and I don't think we were, to be completely honest. We weren't ready for that. We were ready for the we were ready for the golden promise that was adulthood. Like that we can be happy, that we'll make money, and that we'll have a lot of money to spend, and we could get whatever we want and just be an adult. But that's far from the truth.
And I think that's where a lot of schools go wrong too, because that's what schools teach you too. You do well in school, you get a good job like that. But no, it's not like that.
They have to say it because they're trying to sell their education, you know?
Right. Again, but I mean, that's why, like, even at like elementary, middle school, like that's what they drill into your head though. Like, you have to do well so you could go to a good college, so you could get a good job, so you could have a good life. You know, like that's the pattern. Do well in school and blah, blah, blah. But it's not always like that.
It's not. And tying it even more to our special episode that we had a few weeks back, it's a system where Andrew and I can benefit from it because we're Asian. There's a stereotype out there, if you guys don't know, that Asians are really good at math.
Huh.
I can tell you right now, that's not true. I suck at math. I hate math. But that's just the kind of racial stigmatism that we had, and we benefit from it because when we did well in school or we got A's in school, we're like, oh, it's because you're Asian. You did well. Fuck that bullshit. That's not true at all.
I think me and Esther mentioned it in our last episode, or the episode where we all sat together and had that conversation about education. I was a fucking 1 point whatever, maybe 2 point on a good semester, whatever. Like, I was a fucking idiot. I didn't give a damn about nothing in school. I wish I took it a little bit more seriously, but at the same time, I'm fine with who I am now. Street smarts.
Oh man, I forgot to get that. What is it? The sound pad for John Mulaney on that.
Honestly, though, like I would rather take street smarts over book smarts.
Yeah, I agree.
So much more useful.
It is. And street smarts actually
can get you further, man.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Because you use more street smarts than you use book smarts. What? You use book smarts for maybe 17 years of your life. And after that, it's all street smarts.
Yep. So that's the real world.
Yeah. There's a popular saying even, like, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Exactly. It's not about who you know, it's about who you blow.
Throwback to episode 3. God damn. Sounds like so long ago. God damn. But like, that's the thing. People, it's just, we've been drilled in our heads as recent college graduates saying that if you graduate, you're promised, no matter what, you have a great life ahead of you. Andrew and I are here to tell you that that's not all that's not it. Like, you have to work hard for it, and you have to understand the balances between your pessimism and your optimism, because if you're too optimistic, you just seem like you're a child. But if you're too pessimistic, you're just a Debbie Downer that no one wants to hang out with. And you're the Debbie Downer that no one wants to hire. And if you're the optimistic child, you're just a child that we don't want to give a paycheck to because you're just a kid.
And people will find you annoying.
Oh, hella annoying.
Do you know anyone who's too optimistic?
I work in higher education. No one's overly optimistic.
No. Like in your personal life.
I'm trying to think if I remember anybody that's overly optimistic.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone.
I know people that try to be.
Yeah, I mean, everyone, tries to be.
I think you and I both know one person that tries to be, and they do not do well.
Oh. She's annoying.
Yeah,
okay, see, like that's a perfect example. She's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, again, she could have changed in the last few years because we haven't talked to her in a while. But
yeah,
back in high school, back in college, she was an overly optimistic person, which based on her family background makes a lot of sense. But
it's annoying.
It was annoying. She was just never really taken seriously for me or Andrew, I don't know about other people, but she was always, I saw as a third party observer, I always felt like she was not outcasted, but she was deemed the naive one that really won't go anywhere. It could have changed because Andrew and I haven't really talked to her in the past few years. I don't even know where she is. I think I tried to reach out to her a few years ago, but she completely ignored my Facebook message.
I haven't tried talking to her in years.
Well, from what I understood is like I was in town where I thought she lived, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm in town for these couple of days. Can I buy you lunch? And can we just catch up? And nothing. So,
well, saved you from an annoying lunch.
I mean, I wasn't hoping it was going to be annoying. I was hoping like she would become a little bit more pessimistic and more of an adult. And I think
from what I know, I don't see that happening.
I don't either because of the religious group that she was a part of.
Religion.
Yeah, we can do another episode on religion next time. I think that'll be a good one. I can talk about my experiences in religion in college. I could probably rant for about 40 minutes.
I can rant about for like 40 seconds. I didn't go to church. Oh, maybe it was 4 seconds.
And then I think with the easiest way I found that kind of propels me further into the left of optimism or the right of negativity is the what if questions.
Ooh.
And I think the what if questions for me personally, they bring me more into the negative and more pessimistic spot than they do into the positive ones.
I mean, I really agree with that statement. How you said it kind of brings you to pessimistic, because that's a big reason why I was pessimistic my whole life. Because, ever since I moved to Indiana, all I did was live off of what ifs. And it was so easy to get sucked into that whole what if world thinking and being pessimistic about it, because it's like, oh, what if I didn't move to Indiana? This would be different. I wouldn't be in this situation and life would be better, blah, blah, blah. And I totally agree that it makes you think a little bit more pessimistically
I don't know. I think
at times.
at times, I think what I've noticed is that if you do what if questions that are about the past, it tends to be a little bit more pessimistic than optimistic.
Okay, see, I say all the time because that was me all the time.
Yeah.
I lived in the past because that's where my life was.
Yeah.
And, I hated Indiana for a lot of the reasons and a lot of things and a lot of my life, but it's different now.
Yeah. I think what if questions, and I think we've said this before in a previous episodes, was if you use what if questions, they can be great. They can be a very good futuristic thinking tool that you can use to better your life and better your mindset. But it is so fucking easy to make it negative. The problem with, I hate what if questions, not because like I know how to use them or I don't know how to use them, is because Esther likes to do what if questions with me a lot. She used to, before it caused a lot of arguments because I didn't want to do them anymore. But it would be like we were laying in bed and I would be ready to go to sleep and she would be like, "Hey, JD, what if we broke up?" I'm like, I don't want to fucking answer that question right now. Like, I'm trying to go to bed. Like, why? Like, I don't fucking get it. Why do you need to put that into my life right now? Because I don't want to think about that. Like, there are what if questions like, hey, what if you're single, it's like, hey, what if I meet the person of my dreams tomorrow? And that's really happy. Like, you're like, oh, well, then I could start dating. You could do this, and that. And that's great. But going off the fact that like saying like, oh, what if I got hit by a bus tomorrow and I died? What would you do? I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, that's an awful what if question. That puts me in a really bad spot. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I literally asked that to Ashley yesterday. I said, hey, Ashley, what if I got hit by a bus today? Would you be sad? And she's like, oh, fucking yeah. What the hell kind of question is that?
Like, that's exactly what the hell kind of question is that? Like, I don't understand.
But for me, it was just funny because I saw a bus and I was like, huh.
People like you.
It was just really funny because
hell is filled with people like you that ask those questions. Like, I hate those questions. I hate them. Like why would you want to try and put yourself in a sad situation or a stressful situation or a sad situation? Like, what?
It's okay because Ashley laughed it off too because she was like, what? And she started laughing. I can't believe you use that as an example. Like, today's fun.
Yeah, we're in tune today for whatever reason. But like that's the thing. Like, what if questions? I feel like this is going to be a very, very big part of the podcast because my sincere disgust of negative what if questions is just I don't like it. Like, it doesn't make those like kind of more negative what if questions puts me in a spot in a mental mindset that I don't like about myself. Like, I don't want to have to think about all these negative outcomes coming towards me when, knock on wood, that like those situations never come up in my life. Like, why do, like my thought is, why do I need to waste my stress and give into my anxiety for something that hopefully, just doesn't ever happen?
Yeah, it's kind of like you saying, oh, Andrew, what if I got hit by a bus? You put that in your own head and my head. So now it's like, in my head, like I have to think about like, oh God, I hope he doesn't get hit by that bus while he's walking, or it like puts it in your mind unnecessarily.
And it's not like I asked for it. It's not like I asked to be put into this stressful situation. Like, if I was told and I was getting paid to do like a group study of like sad things, but they told me, yeah, that's fine, I agreed to it. But when somebody throws those kinds of questions at you without your consent, they're mind fucking you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, JD, what if I got struck by lightning tomorrow? Would you be sad?
No, I wouldn't be, because you told me this question. Like, I don't like that. Like,
see, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an example. Don't get mad.
But I can't help it. Like putting like stress like on me like that, unnecessarily added stress.
Yeah.
just for your pure entertainment or the questioner's entertainment.
Right.
Like,
Right.
fuck you. Like what the fuck am I supposed to
you.
do with that? Like, you know, it's like seriously, like what am I supposed to do with that? Like, why are you putting stress on me for your own entertainment? Like, if you actually care about me and care about my thoughts,
You would never think about that in the first place.
exactly. Or you wouldn't even ask me in the first place. And I think that's my biggest thing of like negative what if questions. Like if I died or anything that just sounds sad is like, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
on the flip side though, when you have a positive what if questions, it can get so fucking exciting. Like,
Oh, I love doing those.
exactly. Like winning the lottery. Like what if you won the lottery? You know, like those are a little bit more fun because they're a little bit more positive and you could actually think about a more positive outcome, you know, and you'd be like, oh yeah, I would pay off my student loans. I would save some money. I'd buy a house, and you'd be able to like pursue and move forward with that.
Yeah. Me and Ashley do that all the time, especially about our futures. Like, ooh, what if we moved to Texas? Or no, legitimately earlier today, she was like, ooh, what if we moved to Texas for a few years? Because there are like beautiful modern homes there for really cheap. And she's like, what if we moved to Texas first for a couple years, you know, lived our life for a little bit, and then we moved to Colorado? I was like, no. I mean, I shut her down completely, but still, like it like leads to like, oh, like, oh, what if we live like that for a little bit, blah blah blah. I love when like we talk about our future with what ifs, because like it makes me dream a little more and like, you know, set a goal for myself.
Exactly. And I think that's when what if questions could be something so optimistic and so like uplifting, is when you have like this fun, you know, fun atmosphere of like, hey, what if we moved and lived out of the country for a year and came back? Like what country would you want to live in, and like what kind of things would you want to do? And that kind of those kind of thought processes, they get to show you who you really are as a person, and being able to accentuate and being able to exemplify like the positive outcomes that can be life.
Yeah. And like a great example would like I can use right now is like me asking you personally right now, what if we have like thousands of hundreds of thousands of viewers or listeners, and we get that dream that we've always wanted, go to Colorado together, have open up our shop, have that little on air room.
See,
and
exactly. And like Andrew can see it like through their webcam, but like I'm like legitimately excited. Like I'm not as stressed or angry as I was like not 4 minutes ago about like all these other negative what if questions. But like we can actually think about like the dreams and stuff that we have, and that yeah, it's gonna be a lot of hard work to like get there, and like there could be some like, you know, trips and falls and some failures along the way, but that end goal of like having that on-air light just kind of light up and we get to walk in our studio and just record, it makes me so fucking happy. Like that's the kind of like mindset and that vision that we have for that. Like that's what makes us move forward, and that's what makes us fight for our future.
And I love the fact that we've done it before too. Like we've asked that to each other, and we've already, you know, we've had that little dreaming, you know, setting goals like becoming neighbors, combining our backyard, fencing it in together, just letting our dogs out, not caring where our kids are. Well, they're going to be at each other's house, but you know, be like, oh, where's Andrew? Or where's, you know, little Landon? Oh, he's at JD's house. Oh, that's fine. Whatever. You know, stuff like that is just
yeah, and being able to like dream about it and talk about it, yes, that's great and that's fantastic. And those start out with what if questions. And I think what if questions are a very, very powerful tool, or it can be a powerful weapon. And I think when people use it to weaponize and kind of have like a more negative like what if question, it's not out of love, it's not out of like caring, but I feel like it's more out of like their own entertainment. You know, I mean, granted, if you're in like a negative situation and you're talking about what if this happens on top of it, and it's a realistic what if question, yeah, that's a tool because you're preparing for the future and you're seeing all the potential outcomes. But if you're perfectly healthy and you go up to your partner and go, hey, what if I got cancer tomorrow?
just to see what the response would be.
Just to see what the response would be, and just to see like them being stressed out and you wanting a certain answer. Like I just feel like that's out of your own pure entertainment and your own selfish wants. And I don't think that's a weapon. That's a communicative weapon. Don't like it, man. Don't like those negative what if questions. The positive ones are fun. Like I have like a bunch of notes in my iPad and just randomly strewn about in 5 different notebooks that I have. Like I have so many positive things that I've written down because I want to put them in writing so that I can have that vision and move forward and work towards them. Who writes negative goals in their in their in their dream journals or whatever? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make
A
sense.
will. If I'm to die today.
Never thought of it that way.
I mean, technically, isn't that a negative way? But
It's a legal negative way of
yeah.
putting down
If
your
I'm to
negative
die
thoughts.
today, all my belongings go to JD.
Hey, you guys heard that on this podcast. I get all of Andrew's belongings if he dies.
You got Moro. Good for you. You get a fucking destructive creature. Good luck.
But like again, like I think being able to properly use what if questions in your own life and not use them as a weapon against yourself even, because I know like we've talked about this before, making yourself like use those what if questions to live in the past and focus on the negative outcomes that have come into your life and not using the what if questions to better yourself. It's tearing yourself down and it's self-harm and it's not. That's for me personally, that's not what if questions are for.
I agree, and I've lived the way we just JD just said, pessimistically, with all those negativity and all those negative what ifs. It's hard to climb out of it, especially if you're in on it alone.
Exactly. And I think even I have those like pessimistic, like roundabout circles. It happened like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, like when I was in Georgia. Like those are the only things that came through my head. I was so stressed out. Like you can ask Esther, like financially I was stressed out and mentally, emotionally, and physically, I was just so stressed and so worried about everything. And it always kind of came back to the fact of like, did I make a mistake? Am I a failure? What am I doing here? Like it always started out with those questions of like, what if I didn't come to Georgia with Esther? What if I stayed in Chicago? Like how would my life be different?
You beat yourself up over it.
Exactly. You beat yourself up so much and
It affects your like current life.
It affects your current life, and people don't know that you're doing that to yourself because it's so internal. And like you said, like if you don't have an outlook and you don't have a way to like get it out and talk to people about it, it's just like that constant. It's like running on a hamster wheel inside your head of just negative thoughts, and it just doesn't stop. You just keep going and going until you collapse, and that's it. Like when you watch like cartoons and people like stop and then my examples are all over the place today. But like that's kind of what happens. And Andrew and I use this podcast to really be able to talk about those kind of pessimistic views that we have. And we use this podcast to like encourage each other and be like, no, like look at it this way, look at it that way, and look at it in a more positive light, and like just keep working and keep like grinding and keep moving forward. And I think that's a big reason why our podcast, we're still doing our podcast after 20 episodes. It's just like we found like it's kind of therapeutic almost.
Oh, definitely. I love talking to you, best friend.
Yeah. And I think even like everything that we put on our recordings before we even start our episode, like we still record pretty freaking early and pretty like a lot sooner than the actual episode starts, is because I do it because I just want to hear about our weeks and what our life is kind of amounting to and where we're going. And yeah, a lot of it doesn't make it, but when I go back and edit, like I hear it and I'm like, oh wow, that was that time. Oh wow, okay. And then kind of seeing it now and being like, okay, we moved past that. Like we're good.
And sometimes it does get to come on air, like episode 15, where we're talking about me vaping and JD calls me a fucking cloud cunt. but like it has its moments like that.
And I think, yeah, it's great. And it's just so candid and it's so natural. And even right now, this episode has been hard. Not because of like the topic at hand, but just me personally. I don't know what it is. It's just my mood today. It's I took a week off and I'm just fucking weird.
You took a week off
right now. So it has been difficult in that way where I can't find the right words to say, or I've been stopping and restarting and that's kind of like my whole mental mindset this entire episode. It's just like I'm starting a sentence, but I can't fully put it together. But I mean, this is I like this podcast and I like doing this podcast because I feel like it's so us and it's so like genuinely us,
Mhm.
that I don't give a shit if no one listens, you know? Because it's just fun to do for us.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, you know, that one podcast that you listen
Yeah.
to, like that the best friend's journal diary thing.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a journal for us, and
I don't
I
know if
can't wait
I
to listen
want to
to it
listen to it in the future. I'd be like, God damn it, we're so fucking stupid.
I'm gonna want to. I really want to. I want to let our kids listen to it. I want to see what they would say about it. Fucking, they hear us talking like them in the future. It's gonna be like they're gonna be like, "Ew, you guys are
Yeah,
so cringy. You guys
we
are
should
so
put an
ugly."
age restriction on when our kids can listen to our podcast.
That's gonna be their nursery rhyme.
You're
our
gonna play it
podcast.
while they fall asleep.
I'm gonna play while they fall
So
asleep,
literally,
so they
cloud
know my
cunt is
voice
gonna
and
be
your
on
voice.
repeat for like. But yeah, and if you guys are really in that like pessimistic mindset, like find somebody to talk to, find a friend. I mean, if you guys know us, like give us
Talk
a
to
call,
us.
message us on Instagram, email us. Like we want to know, and we want to be able to be that outlook for people too, because we know what it's like not having that outlook. Because when Andrew was going through all the things that he was going through before he reached out to me, like it was hell. And even for me, even with my entire year in Georgia, I didn't really reach out to Andrew that much. I'm gonna be honest, and like it was hell. Like I couldn't. There wasn't anybody else to reach out to except maybe Esther. But even Esther got like, she was like, you have to talk to somebody else because I'm going through the same things you are, and you're just doubling it up on both of us. So being able to find an outlook and being able to like just get it out there and just get it into the void, and it's just really, really relieving when that gets off your chest.
I mean, that's what helped me a lot because again, I talked to you for, especially like when the whole thing first started, when I came to you for help and your advice and stuff. Like spoke for what, like an hour. Went to Kevin, we spoke for like an hour. Went to Michelle. Just getting it off your chest and having someone listen, knowing that they're genuinely concerned and worried about you, knowing that they will do anything that they can to help you. It makes you feel so much better, and like it makes your shoulder, like gets the weight off your
And
shoulder.
I think, and when you get that weight off your shoulders, don't feel like it's going to just all of that weight is going to another person. It actually doesn't feel like that. Like even when you were talking to me, I never felt that your stresses and your bad situation. Yeah, it didn't.
My
feel
problems
that way.
became your problems.
Like really, it felt more like there was more of like a desire to help. It wasn't like, oh man, like God damn it, I'm got more stress now, and like why do I feel even worse? No, it doesn't really feel that way. If you find somebody that's truly there for you, it doesn't feel like a burden at all. It feels like an opportunity to be able to help someone that you love. So if you guys really are in that place where everything seems like it's bad and seems negative, find somebody that you love to help you, because they're going to be more than happy to help. And if they can't, they'll be honest and tell you, but now you know that they're going through they're going through things that you don't know, and you just got to find somebody else, you know?
Yeah. And from someone that's receiving the help, like on my end, if you guys are at my place, don't think of their help as, a pity help just because they pity you. I struggled with that a lot. I didn't want to tell my cousin Christine because I thought she was going to look at me differently or pity me. At one point, she kind of did. Like we laugh about it now because there was one time like I invited her over for dinner, or she wanted to catch up, and I was like freshly going through all this crap, and I told her about all my situation, and she was like, "Oh my God, Andrew, let's go get dinner," And then I was gonna pay for it. I had no problem paying for it. Like I wasn't that broke. But then she's like, "Andrew, no, I got it." I was like, and then after we got the food and we were driving back home with it, I was like, Christine, why'd you pay for it? Like normally I pay for it. I'm used to paying for it because I'm her oppa. But I was like, why'd you pay for it? She's like, because I haven't seen you in a while. And you always pay. I was like, okay, be honest with me. Did you pay for me because that's the reason, or did you pay for me because you felt bad? And she's like, I felt bad. I was like, that's pity, you idiot. That's pity. And then like we laugh about it now, but don't be scared that
And
they're gonna look at you
and
differently
even
or
if you look on
pity
the flip
you.
side, like even if it is pity, they're still helping you. Take it.
Yeah, take it.
Because then Yeah, you'll laugh about it, and
I
then
mean,
when
you'll
that
laugh about
person
it.
needs help, you just pity them, and it's just a pity party back and forth. But
Oh, how the
but
turntables
that's
have.
the kind of mentality that you have to have. It's saying like again, like we've said this before, knowing when to ask for help and when to receive help is a sign of great strength and not great weakness. And even though that's like a very popular saying and it's kind of a cliche, people still forget it and still people still feel so prideful about asking for help and being scared of pity and being scared of just that kind of
Being belittled. And that's, that's in your own mind too. And that's just you being pessimistic about it.
and yeah, like we said before, it's like it's as the person that's giving help and as the person that has received help, it's never about you may think as the person asking for help that you're a burden, but it's not. The person that loves you is more than happy to help because they love you and they see your worth. And I think other people see your own worth far better than you see your own worth. You always bring yourself down. I don't I think it's just like a human thing, but other people can see what you're worth. And if they're willing and more than happy to help you, that means they think you're a person that is worth
Is
helping.
worth helping.
Exactly.
And there's like a bad way to see it too, but also a good. This is where you'll see their true colors. You'll see if they're a fake friend or not. I know that the people in my life who I call friends and family, even though they're not blood, I know I picked amazing family members that aren't blood. And the family members that are blood, I know I fucking love all of them and they're always there for me.
And going off of that, like if you guys need that kind of help and that kind of support, Andrew and I are pretty open. Our schedules are pretty open. If you guys really do need it and you guys need somebody to talk to, we're more than happy. Granted, if in the future if we have like thousands of listeners and we have like 500 emails coming in, we'll try our best for sure. We'll try our best for sure. But right now in our early stages of our podcast, like yeah, like hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Gmail. Like we'll be more than happy to like really take the time and help you and find the help that you need and find the help that, you know, you're kind of asking for.
And we've both been in similar situations where we both needed help. We will give you the best advice we can give you. And like JD said, we'll point you to the right direction as best as we can too.
And like Andrew, if people really do want to, if they forgot from our intro, like where can they find us and how can they reach out to us?
You guys can always most definitely find us at up until now podcast at gmail.com or our Instagram, same handle of up until now podcast, where you can also find the link to mine and JD's personal Instagram, where if you guys feel a little uncomfortable, you guys can email us or message us personally. You guys can find us there.
Exactly. And just again, want to thank you so much for taking a listen to our episode of, of our podcast because again, when we started way back, way back in episode 1, we didn't think anyone was going to listen. We thought that this was just going to be something that Andrew and I did for fun and maybe kept the audio files as like a joke in the future and being like, oh, remember when we tried this podcast? No, like we're very, very excited about, the listeners that have been listening to our podcast and the reactions that we've been getting from our families and our loved ones and our listeners. So yeah, like please feel free to reach out to us. And if you guys feel that our podcast can help somebody else, please share it with them. If you guys are on Apple Podcasts, it really does help if you guys like, comment, subscribe, and give us a rating on there, just so that we know what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right. And what Andrew said a couple episodes back is like, if you guys like something, we'll keep it up. If you guys don't like it, we'll change it up. Like that's kind of what our mindset is. And I feel like we're still pretty young in our podcast and more than ready and more than willing to change and adapt and move forward with the way that we've been doing things. So yeah, if you guys want to help us out, please do. Cause we're more than willing and more than open to constructive criticism. So with all that being said, we want to thank Eric for letting us use his music again. Like seriously, man, waiting for track 4. But again, thank you so much for letting us use your music. And hey, if you guys want to use Eric's music too and support, local artists and little artists as well, Andrew, do you know where people can find Eric's Instagram?
You can find it on ch.tunes. That's ch.tunes. And he also has a SoundCloud, the same handle of ch.tunes. You guys can download it for free. And again, if you guys do use his music, give him a shout out. He'll definitely appreciate it. And we'll appreciate it too, because we appreciate his hard work.
And all of the links that we've provided can be found on our Instagram link in our bio. We have a link tree. It can go through a bunch of different places where you can find our podcast. And at the bottom, there's also Eric's links to his Instagram and his SoundCloud. I believe there's also a few cards regarding the Black Lives Matter movement. So please click there if you guys want to learn more. And take a listen to our episode, Black Lives Matter, which was a few episodes back. That's a really important episode for Andrew and I. And I feel like if you guys haven't listened to it, please take a listen because it is really important to us. And with all that being said, thank you for taking a listen to episode 20. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.